Hello friends, I am Dr. Ashutosh Agrawal from ITERC College of Management, Ghaziabad, affiliated with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. Today, here I am giving you a lecture on portfolio risk and return selection of portfolio. Come under the subject of investment analysis and portfolio management, KMB FM01. It's an specialization subject consisting of second unit. So, this portfolio risk and return, today we will analyze how we can analyze the risk and return associated with a portfolio, or how we are selecting a portfolio, how the securities are being selected in a particular portfolio. So, at the end of the session we would analyze, we would be able to make the analysis how to analyze the risk and return of a particular portfolio, particular securities, and how to select that portfolio. So, let us start. What is portfolio? A portfolio is a combination of two or more securities. Combining these securities into a portfolio reduces the risk. Once in a portfolio, this is a bunch of securities. We cannot keep all the eggs into one basket. Same with the concept of portfolio. We should to keep different risk return pattern capacity securities into a particular bunch of portfolio called as the portfolio. Once we are combining various securities having different risk return characteristics and combining those different securities under a single bunch, that single bunch is termed as the portfolio. The basic benefit of constructing of selection of a portfolio is to minimize the risk, as every investor always prefer to minimize the risk and maximize its return. So, portfolio is a concept through which an investor can minimize, optimize his or her risk or maximize the return. A portfolio is a concept of diversifying the risk, or we may say portfolio is a concept where we are combining various securities having various risk return pattern, so that we can optimize the return, we can optimize the risk, we as an investor. So, these are the combining two or more securities for reducing, for diversifying the risk. Portfolio expected return and risk. Let us start with the expected return. Expected return of the securities and the portfolio weights. We are assigning the weights to each of the security. Say for example, the expected return on a portfolio is computed as the weighted average of the expected return on the stocks which comprise the portfolio. The weight reflects the proportion of the portfolio invested in the stock. First of all, we have to analyze how much investment we wish to make and what are the amount of investment in a particular security. According to a amount of investment in a particular security, we are assigning the weights, and assigning the weights we can calculate the expected return on portfolio. Expected return of portfolio equal to the summation of weights of expected return on stock I. N, here N is the number of stocks in the portfolio and WI is the proportion of the portfolio invested in stock I. W denotes the weight. If we are combining two securities, this example is for one security. If we are combining two securities, then the weight of A and the weight of V multiplying with the expected return of stock A, expected return of stock B, and by combining the both, we can calculate the expected return on the portfolio. Similarly, for 3, this is weight on A multiplied with the expected return on stock A, weight assigned to stock B multiplied with the expected return on stock B, weight assigned to stock C multiplied by the expected return to stock C, and combining all, we can calculate the expected return on the portfolio. So, same like if we are combining, we can combine the 4 security, 5 security, 100 security, we can combine n number of securities, and accordingly we can calculate the expected return. We are having a practical problem. A portfolio having the 4 securities and the expected return from the 4 securities are These are the securities R1, R2, R3 and R4. These are the expected return 15%, 12%, 14% and 20%. The funds which an investor want to invest is 2 lakh in security R1, 2 lakh 80,000 in security R2, 3 lakh 20,000 in security R3 and 4 lakh in security R4. So, we can calculate the expected return out of it. So, how? These are the securities, these are the expected return given, these are the funds invested, these are the question given. Once we are sum up it, the total investment is 12 lakhs. Now, we are calculating the weights 2 divided by 12, 2 lakh divided by 12 lakhs. These are the 2 lakhs, these are the 12 lakhs, these are the 2 lakhs, these are the 12 lakhs. By dividing the 2 lakhs by 12 lakhs, we can calculate 2 divided by 12, 0.167. Same for others, 2.8, 2 lakh 80,000 divided by 12 lakhs is equal to 0.233, 3 lakh 20,000 divided by 12 lakhs 0.267, 4 lakh divided by 12 lakhs is equal to 0.33. These are the weights which we have given on the funds invested. By multiplying these weights, into expected return, we can calculate expected portfolio return, multiplying the weight with the expected return. These are the multiplying weight with the expected return. 0.167 multiplied by 15% is equal to 2.505 and so on. 0.233 multiplied by 12, 2.796, 0.267 multiplied by 14, 3.738 and 0.333 multiplied by 20 is equal to 6.66. By totaling all these, we can have 15.699. So, therefore, the expected return from the portfolio is 15.699 or 15.7%. So, how the expected return from a portfolio can be calculated? This is a given problem. Let us start with the portfolio risk. The variance standard deviation of a portfolio reflects not only the variance standard deviation of the stock that make up the portfolio, but also how the returns on the stock which comprise the portfolio is also vary together. The measure of how the returns of a pair of stock means the portfolio, pair of stock vary together are the covariance and the correlation coefficient. So, we here analyzing the portfolio risk with the help of covariance and correlation coefficient. Covariance is a statistical measure of how two variables move in relation to each other. A positive covariance indicates that two variables, two stock and market or two stocks are moving in the same direction. Covariance measure the total variation of two variables from their expected values. Risk and volatility can be reduced in a portfolio by pairing these two stocks that have a negative covariance. Once we have to combine the portfolio, which kind of volatility, if we want to reduce the risk, then we have to combine those securities which are having the negative covariance. Here we are having a problem. Find the covariance between two sets of return given below for two securities. These are the security X and this is the security Y. We are firstly calculating the X bar. We are calculating the X bar by combining 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5 number. 5 is the number n. So, 29 divided by 5 is equal to 5.8. This becomes the x bar. Xi minus x bar, xi minus x bar, this is 5.8. 2 minus 5.8 is equal to minus 3.8. 4 minus 5.8, 1.8, 5 minus 5.8, 0.8, 5 minus 5.8, 2.2, and 10 minus 5.8, 4.2. So these are the x minus x bar. Same for the y. We are firstly calculating the y bar and calculating the yj minus y bar. We are getting these kind of variation. Once we are multiplying these variations, we are getting the output. We are getting the output like by multiplying this into this, we are getting the output. So by totaling this output, we can get a summation of 103.4. By putting this value into the formula, the covariance of x y is equal to summation of x minus x bar, y minus y bar upon number of the securities. Number of securities are 5. So here the covariance is 20.6. Once a covariance is 20.6, it shows a high positive covariance between the returns by two securities indicates that their price movements are alike, either upward or downward or together. If their price movements, as there is a positive correlation, positive covariance, here the price movements of both the securities are alike and in the same manner, either upward or downward. Let us have a look on the second risk analysis concept of correlation coefficient. It measures the strength of the relationship between the market return and the stock return in a period. Correlation is the indication of two variables being positively or negatively related to each other. Here we are having few of the one of the formula for calculating the correlation coefficient. Here we are having a problem, find the correlation between two sets of returns given below for security x and security y. These are the return for security x, this is the return for security y. Here is the summation x, summation y, x into y we have calculated, summation of x y, x square, y square we have calculated, and put these figures where n is equal to number of securities 5, put these figures into the formula, we can get the answer of 0.97. It is quite positive, highly positive, not perfect positive, but high positive correlation. This high positive correlation indicates the positive but not perfect correlation between the returns of security x and security y. It shows that the price movement of securities are alike, either upward or downward, because in the covariance the same result was there. For the correlation coefficient, the same outcome, same result is there. So the investor is preferred whether to invest or not to invest. Investor can easily analyze the risk appetite attached with that particular security, whether the investment should be made in these securities or not. If the security x will be move on, the security y will also be move on, because there is a positive correlation, not the perfect, but near to perfect correlation, because perfect correlation lies when the answer of R is equal to correlation coefficient is equal to 1. But here is correlation coefficient we found 0.97. So this is also called as the positively but not perfect, near to perfect correlation, which shows the same movements, positive or negative, of the pair of two stocks. Now come to the selection of portfolio. Once we have analyzed the risk and return from the portfolio, now we are moving towards how we are selecting the portfolio. Portfolio is, as I have told you, is a bunch of securities having different risk return characteristics. Every security, every stock, every share, every investment is having different risk return pattern. The risk associated with security X is different, security Y is different. Return associated with security X is different, security Y is different. Which kind of security we should to include? Which kind of investments we should include in our portfolio? So under the selection of portfolio, there are two approaches where an investor analyze how to select the particular portfolio. There is traditional approach and a modern approach. Let us start. Today we will start or discuss on the traditional approach. Selection of portfolio. There are four various stages under the selection of portfolio. First is the determination of objectives of investment. What are the objective of investment? An investment is made with an objective of getting the return. The return can be the price appreciation, the capital return, or the revenue return. The investment is made to make the safety of our investment. This is the second objective of our investment, where the investor prefer to reduce the risk. Few of the investors are basic fundamental of investment is basic objective of investment is their investment should be safe. Say for example, if we are talking about the low income group investors always prefer to have the investment in such kind of securities where there is a higher safety. Say for example, investment in post offices, savings in post offices, investments in bank FDRs, nationalized banks FDRs. So, these are the where the safety is first, where the risk minimization is first, return is secondary. So, safety is the second objective of an investment. Next determinants of objective is the tax consideration. Few of the investments are made for considering the tax, for reducing the tax liability. Say for example, investment in NPS, investment in PPF, Provident Fund, investment in NSC, investment in Sukanya Samriddhi, ULIP, investment in insurance. So, these kind of investment are taken only because of the tax consideration to reduce the tax liability. And the last but not the least is liquidity, where the investments are made to maintain the liquidity. That is why the investors are making the short term investment. Investors are keeping few of the funds with their bank accounts also, simply to maintain the liquidity as and when if there is contingencies occurred, so that contingencies can be met out. So, these are the basic determinants, basic objectives of an investment. The investor firstly to decide which kind of objective he or she want to fulfill with the investment. According to the objective of investment, investment is made. Investment is also depend on the demographic profile of the of a particular individual investor. If the individual income group is high, he can take a more risk. If the income group is low, he or she can take a lower risk. That depends on the literacy also. That depends on the age. That depends on the liability on the shoulder of the investor. If the investor is a young investor, do not have any liability, then definitely the investor can take a higher risk. Most of the investor can take the higher risk. So, there are various factors which affects the objectives of investment, and objectives of investment also vary or changes as the age of a particular investor change, as the responsibility has increased onto an investor, the objective of investment also change. Once the objective of investment has been decided, then the second stage is selection of portfolio, which is emphasizing the balancing the portfolio using a wide variety of stocks or bonds of various investment avenues. After deciding the objective of investment, the selection of portfolio is done, where the balancing is done. Few of the funds should be make the investment under the liquid funds. Few of the investment should be made for getting the higher return. Few of the investment should be made for having a tax safety, and few of the investment should be made for considering the tax. Means investor want to fulfill his or her objectives of investment and selecting the portfolio by emphasizing the balancing the portfolio, so that the liquidity will be maintained, an investor will get the return, his investment will be safe, and a wide variety of stocks, by investing in wide variety of stocks, so that the risk will be minimized, safety can be maintained. After selection of the portfolio, after balancing the portfolio or selection of portfolio, investor is going to analyze the risk and return, with the various associated with variety of stocks, risk and return with the variety of stocks and bonds. Under the risk return analysis, I have discussed also the expected return analysis, the risk analysis of the portfolio with the help of covariance, correlation. So, under the risk and return analysis, investor is establishing a trade-off between the risk and return. That trade-off will be in such a manner, so that the objectives of investment can be met out, as well as the balancing of portfolio can be achieved. Last step under the selection of portfolio under traditional approaches, diversification. Under the diversification, the investor is making the investment in diversified manner in various industries, in various companies, and the size, weight of participation. The under this last stage, the investor is making the investment in various industries, not stick with a particular industry, that is under the pioneering stage or the growth stage, but the investor is making the investment in various industries under various life cycle. Investor is making the investment in various companies, so that it investor can diversify risk and return associated with the particular portfolio. The whole portfolio return can be, whole portfolio risk can be diversified by making the investment in various number of companies, n number of industries, so that the risk can be minimized, return can be optimized, and the optimum portfolio can be constructed. Under the size of participation, say for example, an investor is having 10 lakhs of rupees. He has decided I have to invest 5 lakh rupees in IT sector, 2 lakh rupees in pharma sector, 1 lakh rupees in banking sector, and 2 lakh rupees in another industry. After deciding various industries, the investor will analyze in which companies I have to invest, how much size of participation for the particular company will be made. For the IT industry, in which company the size of participation will be high, the size of participation will be low. So, according to the industry selection of industry and selection of companies, the size of participation will also be decided, which come under the concept of diversification. So, this is the traditional approach under selection. Determination of objective is being determined. Under the objectives, few other objectives might be the child education, child marriage, retirement. These may be the another objectives, other objectives of investments. So, there are ample number of objectives. So, these objectives, first of all, determining whether the investor is the risk averse investor, risk seeker investor. Risk seeker investor always prefer the higher returns at a given level of risk, whereas risk averse investor always prefer the lower level of risk at a given level of return. Tax consideration, reducing the tax liability and the liquidity. After determination of objectives, the investor is going for emphasizing the balancing of portfolio by selecting the variety of stocks and bonds. After selection of portfolio, investor is going for analyzing the risk and return associated with variety of stocks and bonds, and after analyzing the risk and return attached with the variety of stocks and bonds, investor is going for diversification, where selection of various industries, selection of companies lies in that industry, and size and composition of participation, composition of investment is being decided. Diversification of portfolio risk can be explained with the help of this graph. Under this is the systematic risk, which is uncontrollable risk, which cannot be minimized. Here I am taking the example of 30 stocks of like BSE. You may take a BSE benchmark also, Sensex benchmark. This systematic risk, which is always be systematized, which never be changed, it is uncontrollable. I have explained in my previous lectures also. Systematic risk is the uncontrollable risk, which cannot be minimized, which cannot be controlled, like the market risk, inflation risk, interest rate risk, purchasing power risk, international risk, political risk, natural risk. These are the systematic risk, which cannot be controlled, which cannot be minimized. Second is the systematic risk, which can be minimized up to an extent, which can be minimized up to an extent, but here it cannot touch, it cannot touch, because unsystematic risk can never be zero. Unsystematic risk can be minimized up to an extent, up to the level, but it can never be zero. Henceforth, unsystematic risk measurement is being done, unsystematic risk management is being done by diversifying our portfolio, by making the investment in various ample type of securities. The unsystematic risk can be minimized. So, this unsystematic risk management is a particular phenomena under the diversification. This minimization of unsystematic risk can be achieved with the help of diversification. So, diversification is helpful to reduce our unsystematic risk. Total risk is equal to unsystematic risk plus systematic risk. This is the total risk. So, if we found out once an investor was at this point, the total risk was this much. Once the investor is going to manage diversify its portfolio, the risk has been minimized to this. So, this angle to this angle, this risk has been minimized. So, by diversifying the portfolio, the risk can be minimized, where the systematic risk cannot be changed, but the unsystematic risk can be reduced up to an extent as maximum as possible. Second thing was the selection of portfolio under modern approach. This modern approach emphasized the statistical measure to develop a portfolio plan. This focus is on expected return, standard deviation of the return, correlation between the return. It combines the security that have negative or low positive correlation between each other's rate of return. Means, under the modern approach, we will discuss about the statistical measures, how the statistical figures, how the price movements, how the return and risk under the statistical measures are given, and how they can be, how a portfolio can be selected. Under the modern approach, there are two theories, Markowitz theory and single index model. Markowitz theory and single index model, these both models we will discuss in our subsequent lectures, and till then here today we are discussing only about the traditional approach, and these modern approach will continue under the second lecture. So, the reference under the Nagarjan, Jebalja under security analysis and portfolio management, and the second is Fisher and Jordan, security analysis and portfolio management. So, today we have analyzed under the selection of portfolio, under the risk and return associated with the portfolio. So, we have come up with a idea, we have come up with an concept. We can analyze the risk and return first. Then, if we wish to reduce the risk, we wish to optimize the risk, we have to establish a risk return trade off, means maximization of return and minimization of risk. Once we wish to establish an optimization of risk and return and selection of portfolio, then we should to go for diversification. Diversification is one of the concept under the traditional approach, where firstly the investor will decide the objectives, then analyze the risk and return, diversify the portfolio, diversify the investment in various securities, and then can easily balance the portfolio and establish a risk return trade off between the portfolio, where the risk will be low and return will be high, which is the primary objective of every investor, whether the investor is institutional or individual. So, with the help of this lecture, I have tried to deliver how the risk can be minimized, return can be maximized to select a particular portfolio under traditional approach. Thank you very much.